here we are, everyone. This is a roll between me and Joe. Joe is a heavyweight brown belt, recently off a win at Grappling Industries, taking silver in the gi division. He can be a tricky customer and he has very tricky wrestling. So as you see, I start to pull guard here, taking my collar sleeve grips, okay? The small strategy mistake I think Joe's making is that he's passing my guard standing. I think it would be a better idea, since he's heavier than me and shorter than me, to pass with at least one knee on the floor. But as you see here, so now I invert and I enter the backside 50-50. This is a really common thing, is to attack the leg to be able to set up a sweep from this position. So as you see here, that's it. I switch my knees. I keep hold of his leg to take away his base. So I keep hold of it. And you see, as I come up to do basically a technical stand, I've now taken the sweep from there. Here we go. And if you see that I've chosen to do a Toriander pass, so basically the reverse strategy. So because I'm taller and longer, he's shorter than me, I always like to pass at range against my opponents, okay? Especially if they are shorter than you, it makes the most sense to see that my hips are far away from him. Now, Joe does a pretty good job. You see that left arm of his, of being able to get an overhook on my leg. Now, with any grip that you have from the bottom, if you get a grip on them, whether it's an overhook on the leg or an underhook on the body, and you drive forward, and main thing, get your hips and your knees towards the floor, as you just see that he did, you've got a really good shot of being able to complete a sweep from there. So that's a fundamental sweep concept. Hips and knees facing the floor plus grip, okay? I don't think it's wise to stand up with Joe. I normally get lobbed around if he fights me, so I try and avoid that, so I pull guard. At the moment, his hips are very close to me and I've got a foot on his hip, which is dangerous. And there we go. It sets up the elevator sweep into the armbar, so also known as a helicopter armbar. That's always an issue. If someone's standing over you and they're not sat back on their heels and you've got a foot on their hip, that can always happen from that position. So once again, I don't want to stand up with him. Plus, wrestling's arguably a bit overrated. That's a joke. So here I start to play again from open guard. I keep my feet on the hips and feet on the biceps and shoot for an omoplata. He is privy to what's going on, so he tries to again keep his hips and his knees facing towards the floor and sort of get into a bit of a scramble position, of which he maintains the top. So here I pull back, reverse De La Riva, and I ultimately want to set up my collar sleeve position here. I go for a De La Riva, that's it. And now, see, I'm trying to get him at that range. There we go, collar sleeve from here. See, my left arm is going across, that controls his posture, and my right hand is on the sleeve. So here, especially with that grip on the collar, it's really difficult to get rid of. It looks like it's easy to deal with, but I like the mobility that it gives me as opposed to a traditional spider guard. It gives my legs a lot more freedom because basically one of the legs is free to move around. And I shoot back into that sort of partial triangle omoplata position. Okay. So from here, it's quite difficult because Joe's head's on the wrong side. It's hard for me to try and finish. I'm trying my hardest to get the choke from here. So now here, he's linked his hands together and he starts to stack me and bring my head to that side, so which is hard for me to finish the choke. But as you see, my right arm is able to underhook his arm from this position. Whenever you can't get the triangle choke, always attack the arm, okay? It stops the person being able to posture up, or at least hinders it a lot, and also gives you the option of the submission and can allow you to re-enter the triangle from there. If we see from this position, you see I'm trying really hard to break that grip and I'm able to turn my knees. I've broken the grip and there we go. I get the finish on the violin armbar. That is part one. I hope you enjoyed that, and there will be a part two coming out shortly.